Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Take a Break with Luke and Dutton and Todd. And we have another guest tonight. I can take that banner down, can I? Because we are live now. We have another guest tonight, Marcel Dupree. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, it's no problem at all. So I'm keeping an eye on your project and that we're going to be taking a look at tonight. And you just ticked up over 16K, man.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Nice.
I take full credit.
You take full credit. Dutton does take full credit. We've got Comics Mate in the chat today. Greetings, Comics Mate. Dean, another creator that just had his campaign tick up over that 10K mark. That's a very impressive feat these days. And I love seeing that. I love seeing it when creators do that. So, all right. Well, here's what we normally do. We normally just take a second to chat with the creator, look at their campaign, and show that off a little bit, and let people get to know them. And then we just have some random conversations, some fun stuff. So, you up for that? You up for that tonight?
Yeah, I am.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and add this over to the stream. Check this out. This is pretty awesome. You don't have a video up, do you?
No. Joshua and I are very shy. So, yeah, we don't do video.
I can tell that by the no camera thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will tell you, if you can get over that camera shyness, backers tend to connect really well with people who are willing to go on camera. That's what I've learned.
Yeah,
Okay.
like if anything, I know you got some kicks. Just like hold up your Nikes the entire time.
Yeah.
And if anything, people are like, dang, he does got some nice shoes.
Those are some nice shoes.
That's a great idea. I'll take that into consideration.
All right. Well, hey, tell us about this campaign since there's no video. Tell us about it.
All right. This is for the 5th issue of our urban fantasy series, LaFay. It's about Morgan Le Fay, obviously Le Fay. She's powerless in the modern world, working for these 3 witches to try to get her powers back.
Oh, okay.
Simple as that. This is the first arc, 5 issues, so you get a complete story. I don't want to spoil anything. We have a lot of twists and turns.
All right, so you are getting the full arc on this then. This is not just a...
No, we've done every issue on Kickstarter. Every issue has grown tremendously due to word of mouth. We appreciate our readers.
Well, the art looks fantastic.
Thank you. That's Miguel Angel Ruiz and Vittorio A. Stone. They have been working hard on this book.
That chrome trading card, that's nice looking.
Headwind is awesome. That was done by Headwind.
You know, the sexy ladies, they tend to sell, don't they?
Yeah, they do. This one, though, surprisingly, we sell very well, but we don't do sexy girl numbers for some reason. Huh. We get a lot of people to buy our digital issues and the regular cover. We appreciate that. Because that means that people are focused on the story first and foremost. And that's what we want, people to focus on our story.
I mean, that is a good thing. I mean, I think what happens a lot is sometimes, well, I just read a book yesterday, and the art was nice, but the story was incredibly boring. It was heavy with editorial. It was poorly paced, and it looked like it had a plot hole developing that it might have in further issues that I'd be concerned about. So, all in all, I was not impressed. I'm not impressed with that.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. But, you get that with indie books. I think people sometimes just look so much at the art, they forget to talk about the story or even think about the story. But
I can contest that Le Fay's dope. I got all 4 issues so far.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
And people can click. We have the link for the first issue to read for free. We are that confident that you'll like the story. So we're like, here's read issue 1 for free.
All right, you guys, you heard that. You can go over there and get that first issue for free. I'm going to pop this in the comments here, so the link, so you guys have the link to work with, and I think I'm going to pass out some wrenches too while I'm at it. Last week, I went nuts with wrenches last week, and I may do the same.
Yeah, you went full Oprah.
I did go full Oprah.
You know what? I'm not even a wrench.
No, okay.
Oh,
Comics Mate is already a wrench. I think he gets everybody's already got wrenches. So all right. Yeah, everybody that's in there. Everybody that's commenting.
No.
All right. So that project's in there. So Marcel, I'm gonna pull this down a little bit and then we'll look at your stretch goals towards the end.
Okay.
And now here, let me give you a wrench there, buddy. There you go. Wrenchless co-host. All right, so we're gonna pull this down, and I just want to let's learn a little bit about Marcel for the people here that don't know you. Tell us about yourself, man. Like, how'd you get into comics and all that kind of stuff?
I've been reading comics since maybe about 8 or 9. My friend gave me a issue of Evil Ernie to read.
Oh, cool.
And so that was my first introduction to comics. I like gritty comics. I try to imitate that somewhat. Then when I became a teenager, I discovered manga. Love manga, stopped reading comics, but I always wanted to make them. And so like in my early 20s, I decided to try to make comics. Then I discovered other stuff, I should say, that distracted me from comics, and decided to get back into comics. Yeah, it was a crazy life. My 20s were crazy. A lot of drugs, a lot of partying. Yeah. A lot of women. Lived, had fun. Around 30, I decided to I should try to give this comics thing a real try, and started Evolutionary Publishing. I've been doing that for the past 5 years almost. It's been a roller coaster, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of public embarrassment.
Well, hey, okay. So since you bring that up, that up, I do want to talk about that because I want to say one thing. I know that you did have some public some embarrassing stuff that most people would just run away from, but you fought back to create a company that is doing quite well. Are you okay talking about that? Yeah,
I'm perfectly fine talking about that. I'm not over it, but I think it's something I should be open to talk about. I have talked about it in the past. Talk about it a lot if you follow me on social media. But yeah, I'm down to talk about it. I'll answer any questions you guys have about it.
So for the people here, I know a couple creators who have had embarrassing moments and they have left comics. One guy was not able to fulfill a book, and so he just left comics altogether. And he hasn't been a very talented writer, but hasn't been working at all. And it's probably been 4 or 5 years now since he's even done anything with comics. You're embarrassed. Let's talk about your embarrassing moment.
All right, cool. I don't mind. All right. So I was overly ambitious. I was foolish and overly ambitious. I tried to expand too fast. Books were shipping late. Books were hitting their deadline. And while this was all going on, I decided, hey, I'm going to go work with another publisher. I'm not going to leave that publisher out because he had some bad issues. I don't want to embarrass him anymore. Then I got caught up in that wave of his bullshit. And yeah, it just led to a lot of people. It led to a Bleeding Cool article about me being late.
I remember that.
Being called a scammer at these. Yeah.
There's a few creators
You know
that I
what?
know personally that.
What's your thoughts on Rich Johnson?
I like before I was covered, I was a fan. I found the drama to be entertaining.
Until you were
After I
the
was
center of the
covered,
drama, huh?
yeah, after I was covered, I actually respect him, and she reached out to me.
That's
Like he
nice.
told me, "Hey, this is coming. You have any comment?"
Yeah.
And I gave my comment. Like,
Yeah.
I just find it funny. I was on his radar. Like I'm
Yeah.
a nobody.
Well, here's the
I was
thing.
doing way less
I don't know
numbers than I
that.
am now.
Yeah, but here's the thing, dude. I think that you got on a couple of other people's radar, and they made a big deal about it. You know, I think that there's a lot of people that maybe have those kind of issues. They get a little overly ambitious. They try stuff that maybe they're you know, they try to make those steps to growth that they're just not quite ready for yet. But you had a couple of people, because you were so successful so early, that I think were looking at you. And so I know of one person, and I'm not going to name these names because I'm not like that. I don't like to give those people, you know, they're not sponsors, so they're not getting any airtime tonight. But I know one person particularly went after you like it was their mission. You know, like they were trying to get people saved.
Yes.
You know, they went
Putting up a bunch
after
of
you.
lies.
Yeah, they went after you. And then I know that you did have a trouble with another. I have a good friend who's a writer who had some trouble with a book that, and this was probably more recently, that they were the writer for a book and it was having some trouble getting out. So
Yeah.
So having dealt with that and kind of being, you know, the center of that drama, which, you know, none of us want to do that. You know, most of I think we would just bury our heads in the sand. How did you maybe not blow that off but take that and turn it into what you're doing now? Because obviously you've got a campaign that is over 16K, you know, where most people would have walked away. So what was the thought process to make you kind of take those negatives and work past them?
Honestly, it was everybody talking shit. Like you guys, if people were just quiet, I would have hit it and went away and said, "All right, I suck. I quit." But people were talking shit, and I was like, "Well, I can't give them the benefit of talking shit. I'm going to prove them wrong and do better."
The power of spite.
Yes,
It reminds me.
You see your actions have consequences. When you oppress people, they rise up in a fiery anger.
I think that was a Hollywood reenactment of Marcel.
Yeah. Pretty impressive. So basically it was like, hey, screw you guys. I'm going to do it anyway. Like I'm going to, I'm and you really have, and I think, you know, I really commend you for that.
Thank you.
I think that was a pretty, you know, kind of pretty bold move. And I see you correcting some of those mistakes that you had made. Your books are starting to come out on time.
Yes.
You're fulfilling everything. Like, is there anything that you haven't fulfilled that,
we still have a couple books that we still owe. Dog Days is not done still.
Mm-hmm.
It's paid for. I paid the team.
Okay.
We're waiting on one person particularly. I'm not going to call them out. We're waiting on one person though. Angelica Reigns. We're waiting on one person. Not going to call them out. So Pat. We're waiting on both people, but they're like, they have their projects that are bigger than mine, so I can't complain.
Okay.
But those are the three that we have outstanding.
But there is a plan to get those out and to make that happen. So that's good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. Everyone's paid for it. I've been communicating with the backers.
On Young Rebels, how far are you on that one?
Alti and I are wrapping that up. Alti it's my fault that we're kind of behind. I kind of freaked out. Like I'm a very insecure person, to be honest. And when I started to look at her bibliography of who she worked with, I kind of freaked out because she was a former Marvel artist. She worked with people that I am fans of. And I was like, I'm not good enough. So I'm going to figure out what to do. I'm gonna figure out how to finish this book. A lot of therapy sessions. I talked to my therapist about it for about a month, and then I got to writing. And so far, we're putting out better pages.
By the way, fun fact for the ladies and gentlemen at home, there's a backup story chapter at the end of Young Rebels that I wrote myself, that I am very thankful for Marcel going, hey, you want to do something? And I was like, yes.
Nice. So yeah, like I said, man, I'm really impressed that you've kind of taken those steps and kind of going in the right direction. I'm curious to to see how the rest of that goes.
I have another question for you, Marcel, because I know you and Josh do a lot of like co-writing together. How is that? Because I don't really like what me and you did with like Hoyo Shiro was pretty much as close to like co-writing as I get, and that was more or less like you kind of bounce a loose concept with me. I kind of gave you like my idea and how I would shape it, and then you kind of bounce back, and I was like, "Yo, I can work with this." And that was like as close to as co-writing as I have ever done. So I have never like co-written. I'm just curious on that.
Okay. It depends on the project. Some projects he and I work very closely where I give him a detailed outline. I don't like to do full script. And so I give him like a plot script where I outline what's going to happen on every page. And he turns it into a full script. And then sometimes it's just I give him a paragraph for what's going to happen in that issue. Then he handles it. With LaFay, he does a lot of the heavy lifting. That's why he's on the Kickstarter page, because it's mostly him now. I just came up with the concept. I helped a lot with the first issue, gave a little guidance every issue, but it's mostly him that does all the work. So that's usually how it works. I give it like an outline, and then whoever I'm co-writing with goes off the outline that I give.
Nice.
Very
good, man. Very good. So I found this week. Man, if someone could tell me where this comes from, like what book this is from, but I found this panel floating around the internet. And what do you think's going on here? And that's a lot of pee.
Yeah, why is it going out like that?
I don't know, man. Maybe he's got a sprinkler system hooked up to it. I don't know.
This is what happens when you try to pierce your junk and it goes wrong.
So my daughter pointed this out, that there's all these empty stalls and these guys decide to go right next to him, which I think that breaks etiquette.
I hate when people do that.
It's like I have been at like the arena where there's all of the empty stalls or urinals, and like some dude will come up and stand right next to me, and I'm like, dude, what's your angle? If you get me closer, I'm gonna be able to tell what your angle is.
Unless there is a wall, every other one, my dude. Every other one.
Yeah. Exactly. So I found this panel, and then somebody shared this one with me.
Wow.
Oh, skate.
It's pretty bad when you need to say nothing and people just laugh. I mean, it's like, it's really, gee, Mabel. I'm sorry. What is all over her face? I don't even know. I don't even want to talk about it.
Nah.
I don't even know what he's holding.
So those are a couple fun things I found today. Those were fun. So here's something else. So I want to point this out. This is these are a couple of characters from my book, Hybrids, which is on Indiegogo right now. That is Trash Man, who is abnormally sized. This is not a piece that's actually going to be in the book. It was I wound up doing something more, a little more subdued a bit, but I like the kind of odd proportions. And this turns out to be his girlfriend here in the bottom corner. And you know, it's funny when life imitates art.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was not supposed to exist.
Was that your model?
No, I just found this, and here's a picture with him with his girlfriend. And look at that dude. That dude looked like he got stung by 1,000 bees.
That is some serious.
That's
steroids.
real. Let's look at him back to back. Look at this guy. I think that this dude in real life is bigger.
He is. Yeah, he is.
I think he's bigger than Trash Man. It was supposed to be made up, folks. It wasn't supposed to be real. What is that all about, right? So that's crazy. So yeah, I want to bring that up. And a couple more.
Does look the same with the little head on top of the big muscles.
Yeah, exactly, right? That tiny head. We're going to have to go back to that. Jennifer says, gross. Yeah, it is pretty gross. And thank God I had 3 brothers. And pituitary tumor. Yeah. Let's just look at that one more time. I mean, look at this guy. Look how tiny his head is. This is not normal. Like, how is this even possible? I don't even know. But I found that a couple weeks ago, and I thought I would share it because that was crazy. But there's new news in the world of comic books.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Apparently, somebody got sold again.
Yes.
Saw that
What
coming.
is it? The 4th time, I believe. So this is what happened. People are saying merger, and it's not a merger. They got sold off, but not completely entirely, right? So AT&T sold Warner Media to Discovery, but AT&T is also keeping about 30 to 35% stake, like shareholder stakes within that company still. So they washed their hands of being in charge of things, but if it makes profit, you know, they still gonna get some kickback. Now this is good news, bad news, because all right. So with Warner Media, obviously DC Comics goes with it. Animation studio Rooster Teeth goes with it, which they are on their last legs, and like game studios are being divided, but no one is quite sure which game studios are going where, so no one knows what's happening with Mortal Kombat.
So I know they had talked about like there was the, you know, the Injustice series, in Mortal Kombat and all of that kind of stuff. I don't know how they're going to do that. Like that's going to be kind of messed up, I think.
Yeah, that's the question is where's NetherRealm Studios going?
Keeping my stick on the ice. Keep my stick on the ice. That reminds me. It reminds me of something. It reminds me of
Now, there is a good news, bad news for DC Comics with this.
Okay.
Because AT&T was so big, they didn't care if DC made profit. Bad news is they also didn't really care to promote comics because it was just like brochure pamphlets to advertise for like HBO Max and the movies and stuff.
Oh, that sucks.
What a story, Mark.
But with Discovery, who is a entertainment studio, they should get more promotion and more like slight guidance or whatever. But expectations should be, y'all need to pull your own weight now.
We like to
Or
set
at
our
least
expectations
pull your
low.
weight more.
If you take everything I've accomplished in my entire life and condense it down into one day, it looks decent.
Yeah, keep those expectations low.
Yeah.
So
Here's a good question though. How did AT&T persuade Discovery to take on all that debt?
They sold, I think, for like 48 million. So about half of what they got Time Warner for. And with the whole merger of the company, I think some of the debt just gets consolidated away. Which is why they're merging into a new entity.
Oh God, another shell company to try and cover that, to hide that debt.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's crazy.
I don't see Discovery. I know Discovery pretty well, and I don't see them doing. What are they going to do with the way that they run their setup to compare to Warner Brothers, Warner Media, and comic books? I don't get the crossover there.
So, all right. Well, this is the good news. So Discovery has a lot of like binge watching worthy like TV with like, you know, Food Network stuff, traveling stuff, you know, like, and like live things, right? Rather than this like scripted stuff, like reality TV shows, I should say. So if you add that to HBO Max, now their catalog on HBO Max will actually rival like Netflix's and dwarf Disney's on Disney Plus.
Well, I got to tell you that HBO Max already I like better than Disney Plus. And it's not. It's nothing to do with politics or anything like that. I just don't really care for half of the stuff that's on Disney Plus.
I agree. I only have it for the Marvel shows.
Yeah, and I've been kind of disappointed with the Marvel shows too.
I mostly just watch Gargoyles.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on there?
Yep.
Yeah.
The old X-Men one is on there too. Yeah.
Yep, like the 90s X-Men, 90s Spider-Man. Pretty much like the 90s superhero cartoons I watch.
Travis says, "Evening, gents." He is here. Speaking, we're just talking about Dog Days. Travis was the writer of Dog Days, correct?
Yes.
Yep. So that's going to be getting out. We're happy to find out that that's going to be happening.
Nice.
Yep.
But you know, some people are gonna say, DC's dying. I will say give it a year. Just because technically it hasn't been approved the merger or buyout.
Well, let me say this.
Nothing's really gonna change for like a year.
Let me say this. I think so many people say, "Oh, DC's going to die or Marvel's going to die." You know, these companies aren't going to die. They're staples. You know, they're going to be around for probably ever. Just their capacity is going to be different. Will they continue to make comic books? Probably, most likely they will. I imagine at some point they'll probably move more into a trade paperback kind of a capacity than just a regular floppy that's coming out. They're going to have to find new ways to market. The whole comics industry in the United States is going to have to figure out a new way and take some of the things that the manga industry is doing in Japan and maybe not like copy it, but at least see some of the
I could see some more of a European style of instead of like single issues. Let's say like Wonder Woman movie comes out next year, right? You might not have like Wonder Woman issues for a month, but like right before the movie drops, you're gonna have like a graphic novel album, like deluxe size, so it looks bigger, and it's gonna have like pretty much like the year story arc, like once a thing maybe, just for like, you know, to go in line with their movies.
Wouldn't they have to redo their deal with Wonder Woman to do that? So I heard that they have to publish Wonder Woman every month in order to hold the rights.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it'd be interesting
I
to see.
forgot about
It's
that.
interesting to see what they'll do. I think it's interesting to see like how people will adjust and how the market will change. But I don't think DC and Marvel are going to go away. I do agree with Nick here as he says Disney has some great nostalgia titles. They do. and the Star Wars stuff to boost it. Yes, most people will go back on there just to rewatch those. It is interesting seeing what's going on with Gina Carano, and I agree because I'm a big Gina Carano fan. Big fan.
She's hot.
She is.
Yes, yes. But she's also a strong female role model. And like my daughter looks up to her and is like, you know, she started weightlifting this year for her senior year. She started doing weightlifting. And like her goal was like, I want to look like Gina Carano. And I'm like, that's a fantastic goal. But she's a strong, independent woman. The problem is she has some conservative views, and I think that some of those conservative views can be complicated for people. So we saw what happened with her, and I've heard that there's talks that they're going to try to bring her back, and I hope that's true because she made the show a little more. She was a great character. I really like the character in her, and so. But then we also saw this last week.
You ever seen an anime called Cowboy Bebop? I know Marcel has.
Yeah,
of course.
I definitely have.
Gina is like that Spike quote. I love a woman who can kick my ass.
Yes.
Now we saw what Gal Gadot had to deal with this last week. You know, she just simply posted a prayer about her country, you know, and wanting it to live in peace, and people were trying to essentially cancel her for that.
And it's like that, in Hollywood too. Yeah,
that's just ridiculous that they would that is even a thing that's happening with people like that. And Comics Mate says I agree with Luke, and the answer is more speed lines. Absolutely, I always like it when people say they agree with me because then we know they're smart. No, but so there's a couple things about manga. This has kind of been a conversation that's been going on for weeks now. I've noticed this on Twitter, people talking about it, that you know, and I'm not mad that manga outsells comics in the US, like standard, like what we call US a standard comic book. And the market's different. They're two different things. And it's understandable that they are two different things, but I think what manga does well and what we don't do well with standard comic books is this: manga has something for everyone, right? It like they have mass appeal. Like if you're into whatever, there's usually something that you can get. The problem with mainstream comics in the United States is mainstream comics doesn't appeal to all of the comic book fans. That's why you have these subgroups where people will say, I'm only going to read indie comics, or I'm Comicsgate, or I'm this, or I'm that. And I think that's where you kind of get that, because the mass appeal isn't even there for the comic book readers, let alone readers in general. And so I think I see some of that, you know, that what we can do is find a better way to reach more people. And produce stuff that more people like. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I totally agree. We should try more genres, try different outreach.
You know,
that's what I try to do with my company.
Yeah, I was going to say that's one thing I actually really respect about Marcel's company is I know like typically there's more or less in like a house art style, but it's a really good one. And you know there is variety within it, his titles. But I will also say, you know, there's like there was one title I didn't like, and Marcel was like, "Dang." But I know, you know, there's other titles that I'm like, "Yo, Valhalla Awaits is up my alley. LaFay is up my alley. Warbound is up my alley."
You know, I think it's okay to have a bad, you know, if you're producing a lot, they're not all going to be winners. Okay, let's give that. But I'll say this. So we're trying to read an indie comic book I am anyway, so I can talk about it on the air. Well, the one I read this week, I'm not going to talk about. Indie creators need to stop focusing so much on the art and start focusing on their stories. Learn how to write. Learn how to write a comic book. Learn how to write a page turner. Learn how to make something interesting. This book was over editorialized. There was way too many words on the page. The artist had tried to show what was going on, but the writer insisted on telling it no matter what. It was convoluted. The pacing was terribly slow. It was incredibly boring. And I think there's a plot hole starting to develop. I'm like, oh, they better fix that or they're going to have an issue. Yeah. So it's okay to have a bum here or there, but if you're producing at that rate, I mean, think about the golden age of comics. They were producing so fast that they not everything was good. In fact, most of the stuff was not good. But the stuff that was really good did find its way to the surface. And maybe that's part of what we've got to do is find a way to create more. But as long as we keep focusing on the big 2, 3, 4, 5, we're never going to get that because that's not what they're producing. They're still DC's always going to be superheroes. They didn't used to be, but they're going to be superheroes because that's the properties they have. Marvel's going to be superheroes because that's the properties they have and everyone knows. So,
yeah. Unfortunately, that's where their disconnect is happening is because they are superheroes. They're just not playing into what the expectation of superheroes.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people are mad at them.
Yeah.
But
Historical Fencing Guild says that Gina's a great actress. Would have been an amazing Wonder Woman. I agree. But for all wokeness, the House of Moss always leans into the things that make funny. Yeah.
You know what? Congratulations to Jennifer. She did a Skillshare workshop. I've never done a Skillshare, but I do watch a lot of writing YouTube channels that help me with great story ideas and stuff.
Jennifer says, pray for me. I'm researching for my first ever comic, detective based on my home back in the West Virginia mountains. I am also thinking of doing some devotionals and coloring books with comic cartoon style. Thanks, guys. We'll absolutely be praying for you about that. It is great. The research aspect of a book, the part of the book is for me, one of the more enjoyable parts. I like getting all of that information before I get started. I think be open to where the Lord leads. Yes. Comic workshop that was a Skillshare thing Justin was just talking about, which is pretty awesome. And then Historical Fencing Guild says the solution to the comic problem is to support independent creators like Arrow 4.0. And I have to say that I 100% agree with that.
You know what? I just remembered.
You've always got to have it.
That was nice.
Someone drops it, right?
That was nice.
As soon as somebody drops it, I have to drop that in there. Or check out books from Evolution. Am I saying that right? Evolution.
Evoluzione. It's Italian.
Evoluzione. You lost me at One.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
What?
I tried to get Evolution. No, I wanted to name my company Evolution Comics or Evolution Publishing, but it was already taken.
Okay.
So I couldn't legally do that. But I didn't want to change my name, so I was like, all right. I work with a lot of European artists. My books kind of have a European feel to them. I'll just name it an Italian name.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Evolution.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, let's get back to this campaign here a little bit and just kind of go over some of your perks.
Yeah.
So we've been talking with Marcel Dupree and talking a little bit about the industry and some of the stuff going on. Some fun things that we found.
Naughty and nice versions of his covers.
Yeah, I bumped Dustin.
Ooh, I got disrespected into a Dustin. Not even a Dutton. Not even a Justin. A merger of the names. Like I'm some sort of Warner Media that can, like AT&T can just sell off.
All right. So this is you got 562 backers. You still have 2 weeks left on this thing. You got $16,011. That's an impressive number. This book looks good. I like this cover. It is neat. This is issue 5. You get the full set here. the full set.
Yes.
So you can start this thing out with just number 5. You've already got all of the PDFs. Get number 5 for $5. You can get the 5th issue for $15. Includes the PDF. For $20, you can get the digital pack with everything, right? But you also get Villains number 1 and Villain number 2.
Yes.
What's that? What's that?
Villain is a series by Joshua. It's about a retired villain who gets pulled back into the life of villainy. It's a superhero noir. It's really good. It's like it was my favorite comic we published until we put out LaFay. I highly recommend it. I want to put out issue 3. Issue 3 is done. It's already in the can. We haven't put it out yet because Joshua is worried that it won't do well.
I was in the can earlier. I understand when things don't go well in the can.
Yeah, he's worried that it won't do well. He has found a new level of success, and Villain was never one of our top sellers. But I think if you like LaFay, you'll love Villain. And I've been giving it to every LaFay backer.
Okay. All right. So I want to check out some of the. Okay, you got Lady of the Lake, which you get the Richard LaFay nice cover. Do we have these covers lit?
Yeah, you can see them, and we do have them censored, so you won't get in trouble with YouTube.
Okay, good. And this is a family-friendly show. So I try to keep things nice. Okay. So this is the Astone variant that you can get?
Yeah, he's the colorist of the book. He's also an artist.
Okay. And so you've got the good version and the naughty version.
That looks so beautiful.
Same way with the Dill Deep variant. Dill Deep.
Yeah.
Some things just make me laugh. And then you got that variant.
Yeah, Gaurav. He's an artist from India.
All right. The Richard variant. These are both kind of not. The naughty is not as naughty.
No, Richard doesn't like to draw nudity, so I don't want to push him to do something he doesn't want to do.
Well, thanks for that. So LaFay, she's kind of thick.
Yeah, I wanted to do a different type of woman.
Nice. That variant there.
How do you pronounce that?
This is funny. Which one? Oh, Vins El Tab?
Yeah, that's the one I backed.
This one's my favorite, the Dragon Ride cover.
Yeah, that's pretty good. These, okay, so the other one where the naughty and the nice were kind of both not so naughty. This one, even the nice is a bit naughty.
Yeah. It takes place from a scene in the book, issue 2. We start off like they have like an orgy in like this weird magical setting. And so this takes place there. That's where she's at.
I like this cover. I like the nice version. That's pretty good.
I do as well.
The Vader version there. Here we go. So is this a print? What is this?
This is a print for everybody who backed LaFay before. They return. You get a free print just for backing.
Oh, nice. That's some good art. I like that.
And then this was the day one print for everybody who came on day one. They got a free print for backing on day one.
Okay. So you get these, and then this just breaks down the tiers, the digital, and the Deadly Allure. So the naughty cover. So you can choose. You've got a lot of options here. The Lady of the Lake. Nice and not okay. Now, do you have
also
add-ons set up with this too?
Yes, we have add-on setup. You get the previous issues. You get variant covers of the previous issues. So yeah, we want to give people tons of options.
Nice. Yeah, there are a lot of options here. A ton of covers for this thing.
We also have an incentive going on right now where if we get to 600 backers by Friday, we're giving 7 PDFs away for free of Evoluzione titles. We're giving away Warbound. We're giving away Speed of Light, Freaky Tales 1 and 2, Babylon Working 1 and 2, and OBS, The Devil Went Down to Georgia. But we have to hit 600 backers by Friday.
Okay. Well, you're not too far off from that.
That's a good one.
No, we're not that far. And as soon as we hit 600, three of the PDFs will go out immediately. And then we'll send the remaining 4 out after the campaign ends.
Danny Morales says, "What's up, guys?" And here is a legitimate question, and I do want to hear this one. So Jennifer says, not to be rude, but more curious, what is up with all the nudity? If the story is good, then why all the naked girls and the sex?
Okay, here's the thing. On Kickstarter, if you want to make some money, you kind of got to give them people what they want. They want nudity.
Okay. Well, then let me.
The covers are for them.
Then let me ask this question. Let me play devil's advocate, and please don't be offended by me asking this.
Okay, I won't be offended.
So then, does the book sell on the merit of the quality of the story, or does it sell on the sex?
We sell more of the regular covers. A lot of people don't buy our variant covers. If you look at it, our biggest tier is the digital, and there's just the regular issue cover.
And inside the book, there really isn't much nudity or almost any.
Yeah, it's
except for maybe
1 page per issue.
Yeah,
one page per issue. That's it.
You're dealing with magic and stuff, so it's that weird
Dean comes in with so everyone on Kickstarter are perverts.
Yes. At least the ones that.
What a story, Mark.
I have some stories I can tell. I don't want to tell them on air, but yeah, people on Kickstarter are very interesting.
Okay.
Very, very interesting.
Us poor little Indiegogo guys, we don't have that problem. Of course, I'm not making $14,000, $16,000, so maybe. But
maybe
Dean did.
AAT.
Dean did, and maybe they could have made more with a couple sexy covers. Who knows?
It's really just to get people to pay attention, because the first issue, we didn't really do that, and we didn't sell that much. We did 200 backers.
Still,
and
200 backers is nothing to scoff at, especially in the indie market, man. That's pretty darn good.
It's not nothing to scoff at, but our expenses are high.
Yeah.
With the rates that everyone gets on the team, expenses are pretty high.
Okay. So here's your team. You've got the writer is Joshua Metzger.
Yeah.
Writer creator. And then you got Miguel Ruiz as the artist. It's quite good. Victorio Astone is a colorist.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't see you list the letterer or the editor.
I know that's a mistake. I did not list the letterer. I didn't list Marco. I'm sorry, Marco, if you're watching. It was an unfair oversight.
Screw the letterer.
You know what?
Now, Marco's a very valuable part of the team. He's the all-star. We tend to be late, and so he has 1 or 2 days to finish the whole book, and that's with making corrections. So shout out to Marco. You're an all-star.
Good job, Marco. And then Dean says, I could have made 20 if only I had some titties.
Definitely underrated job on the creative team.
It really is. I'm trying to hire a new letterer right now.
It's the letterer, I feel like, is like an offensive lineman. You don't notice them unless there's a really bad mistake.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm sharing this out again. So if you are interested in one of those naughty covers over there, I guess you can go check out one of those on Kickstarter right now. You still got 14 days left to make this happen. I'm going to go ahead and remove this. I also have to do a little bit of housekeeping. I am live right now on Indiegogo, and as long as people keep backing that book, I'll be able to keep making books. And so I do encourage you to head on over there to Indiegogo and check that out. We are funding the 7th issue of the the series, the second part of the Killing Field, and I start the art for issue 8 and next week I start the art on issue 8. My part of it, we've got the layouts will be done early next week, and then I just finished up the remaster art for issue 4. Here's another question here. Do people usually have that many variant covers, as I think was said? I wasn't planning to do.
They do when they're doing cheesecake books. There are a lot of cover options for cheesecake books.
Yeah. Cheesecake has a ton of cover options. I don't really do a lot of cover options. What's that?
Oh my god! Especially like Brian Pulido, like Coffin Comics.
Mm-hmm.
So many covers. I'm like, how are you making money?
I don't know. I don't know.
Those artists the artists secretly, not many people charge that much for variant covers. They don't. Like some of the people that he works with do charge a lot, but for the most part, they don't charge that much.
Okay. I'm going to show a video real fast. Like I said, a little housekeeping here. So check this out and make sure to go over and back LaFay, and then also back Hybrids tonight.
Yes.
In a world where the powers of the ancient Greek gods live on through their ancestors, it is up to an intrepid team of heroes to foil the wicked plots of the Hybrid Engineering Corporation. Armed with new information concerning an ancient weapon fabled to have the power to kill a demon, Rev and the team split up to gather the shards and put an end to Azazel before it is too late. Little do they know, the Game Master is still pulling the strings. New characters, new threats, and tons of plot-driven action await you in the Killing Field Part 2.
And you know what? I do want to make one statement to Jennifer. When she was talking about the covers, if she's doing her first comic, I would just do maybe one variant cover, so you have 2 covers tops. Keep it simple.
Yes.
Or just do one really good cover.
Yeah. Don't feel like you have to do all those covers.
Marcel's been doing this a while, and he knows the Kickstarter crowd.
Yeah. So he do covers if you feel like you really need to. I think a lot of I think on average, I think it's two or 3 variant covers in addition to the original cover. But
if it's not cheesecake, I only do 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before, Luke, was that always also whoever's drawing the book, have them do a cover.
Yeah.
Don't trick people with a cover and then be a completely different artist on the inside.
Yep.
So if you're going to have the artist of the book do one cover and then do a variant cover with another artist.
Yes. And you know why, right? So because of
comics are awesome.
Yes, Keanu, comics are awesome. And with that, we have reached our time limit tonight. We do encourage you to head on over to Indie Volt Radio and Indie Volt Network and check out their show that gets ready to start here in about 2 minutes.
Better undercut you and suggest another show.
Well, you can suggest, but they're not going to listen to you.
No, they will. Look at this mustache.
They will not listen to you, Dutton. Why?
I will kidnap some nuclear bombs and hold the world hostage.
You know why?
Your actions have consequences When you oppress people, they rise up in a fiery anger.
You know what? I have took that to heart, and I will not steal some nukes and hold the world ransom for like $500.
Where would you like to send them?
$500.
Where would you like to send people to watch?
Starting in like about 30 minutes or less, Pop XP with Neil and Billy Tucci will have EVS, Ethan Van Skyver, talking
That should
about
be a fun one.
The rise of his comic company, All Caps. Not just Cyberfrog, but just all the creators that he's added within like the last couple months.
Yeah, they just put a new book out. Under All Caps. It was Kyle Ritter's book.
Yep.
Yes.
Starblades. Kyle Ritter's book has joined All Caps. Creed has joined All Caps. The Snowman. Yep, and Jawbreakers. Starting with Jawbreakers.
I gotta hope that doesn't bite him in the butt, because I don't. I know that Jawbreakers doesn't exactly have a. He's not generating. Zach's not exactly generating love right now, but.
Well, he did say they are not going to launch Jawbreakers on 4, which is like Jawbreakers Forever, until Zach finishes fulfilling all the campaigns he has currently.
Cool.
Which is, I think, like 4.
Yeah, it's got a lot.
All right, the Indie Volt Network. I think you just type in Indie Volt, but it's Livewire. The Indie Volt Livewire. And I'll be sharing that link out here in a little bit. Also, you can go over to the Rising Tide Publication Network and check out on Tuesday nights. They've got Clever Title Pending, hosted by the very, very funny and wonderful person, Brian K. Morris. So you can check that out. So there's a slew of things that you could be.
Yep, and Pop XP is just POP space XP.
Yeah, and so that should also be a fun show tonight. And then later this evening, I think I was supposed to be last week, but it didn't happen. I think I'm going to be on Graded Point 5 tonight. So I'm not sure. We'll find out.
Nice.
If it happens, it happens. But yeah, be sure to check out all these great channels and shows and stuff, and we'll be sharing those out on our Twitter. Real quick, go around, let people know where they can find you. Marcel.
Okay, I'm on Twitter at Marcel Dupree, Instagram Marcel Dupree, Facebook Marcel Dupree. If you want to find Evoluzione is on Twitter, Evoluzione Pub. It's on Instagram, Evoluzione Pub. You can visit evoluzionepub.com. We have a bunch of free comics for people to try out. You can even get try out LaFay there. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right. Dutton, where can they find you?
You can find me here every Tuesday night. On most Tuesdays, minus one Tuesday, between 8 and 9. You can find me on Facebook if you look up Justin Dutton, and you'll find one that just has a comic art piece. That's me. Don't be mistaken by the imposters. I'm still trying to highland it. There can only be one. You can find me on Twitter at Justin Dutton 18 because my birthday is next month on the 18th. Boom.
Cool. Nice.
And where else? And come back next week as we will have Cody Fernandez of Jack Irons.
Oh, that book looks cool. I'm looking forward to talking about that one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about that one. All right, you still talking, Dutton?
No, Todd. I give
Todd,
the remaining of my time to you.
Okay. You can find me on YouTube, Todd's Truth. I do reviews. I do wrestling reviews. I do art. I do video games. I do interviews with creators, all kinds of stuff. You can find me on Instagram and under Todd's Truth, and you can find me on Twitter, Truth Todd.
Awesome. No, I'm Luke Stone. You can find me at lukestonestudios.com. Nothing complicated. Very simple. Go over there, sign up for the mailing list, check out the Indiegogo link, and all the other social media links and all that kind of stuff are right there from that website. That's lukestonestudios.com. Thank you so much, Marcel, for joining us tonight. It's been a good
You're
time.
welcome.
Thanks for your transparency and answering some of those tougher questions. It's been
No problem.
it
Thank you
was
for having me.
Man, it's fun getting to know you. Best of luck on all of your endeavors in this book, particularly. Next time you have something to promote, let us know. We'll bring you on.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Well, here we go. I'm going to leave you with this.